Hello, hello, everyone! Welcome to a very chill night of D&D and chill. Why is my thing not... Hello? Why is my model not moving? Hello? My model is very much frozen. I'm going to restart Wadado. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to restart Wadado, and if that doesn't work, I'll switch to my PNG tuber. Technical difficulties right from the start. It is definitely one of those days. Are we working? There we go. We're working now. I'm a little off sync though. Let me fix that. There we go. Now I'm moving properly. What the heck was that? Awesome. Thank you, JD. Yes. I don't know. Wadado froze. Might have just been because I've had it open since I came home from the doctor's office. I'm doing good. I'm a little tired. I mean, I feel a little crummy, but like I said in Discord, if I feel the need to, I will end the stream early. I'm feeling alright right now, mostly just tired. My arm does hurt. where they stuck me, my arm does hurt. So, I did work on this a little bit off screen since Sunday. Sunday was 2 days ago. Yesterday feels like a blur, I'm telling you. So I did finish almost all of the first floor. As you can see, I've added everything but the lights, which I'm gonna do after I finish the floor upstairs, and then I'll do all the lighting at the same time. I'm doing alright. I took a nap earlier, so I'm hoping that helps a little bit, but that may also just contribute to me being groggy, because I don't usually nap. But we'll see. So we are now on the second floor, and this is mostly just officer rooms. Like these, there's only 2 quote-unquote officers right now, which is Wynn and Jamie, who are, I wouldn't even call them officers. Wynn founded the guild, Jamie's her second in command. There is not enough people in the guild yet for there to be, I feel like I have a bug bite on my arm. There's not enough people in the guild at the moment for there to be officers. So there's 2 rooms. These 2 rooms to the north are going to be Wynn and Jamie's rooms. And then these 3 rooms to the south are going to be guest rooms. I'm going to put in another sitting area up here, I think. And then I'm going to do something with this other kind of awkward spot back here. Hello, Eli! I also just feel like I didn't sleep very well last night, but I always have trouble sleeping the night before I have to be up early for a doctor's appointment, so that's probably part of it. If it really comes down to it, I will take a CBD tonight and I will sleep wonderfully. CBD is the answer to all my problems. So we're gonna make this Wynn's room, and I think because Wynn is the founder, we can be a little more unique with her room and not so uniform. So like I can give her like special bed, like more fancy bedspread, because she's also technically from a noble family. She doesn't like to talk about it because she feels like that makes people feel like they have to respect her, and she doesn't want this. She wants people to respect her for her deeds and her personality, and not so much for I like the fact that there's room to grow, and I'm going to let my players decide how they want to grow the area. I'm going to give them chances to recruit non-combat members to the guild, so like I'm going to give them the chance to find a carpenter and some artisans who can, because there's going to be certain like types of buildings that they're going to unlock as they bring on stonemasons, carpenters, stuff like that. I really want to play around with the quote-unquote kingdom builder aspect of the game. Now I feel that, Eli, when you sleep too long that you end up groggy the rest of the day. Alright, so let's start with Wynn's room. I want to give her a desk. I also kind of want to give her a bit of room. We'll have to see, because I need to give her a bed, a nightstand. I could put the bed up against one of the walls. I want to give her a double bed, because she deserves it. She works really hard. But I also want to give her, like, maybe a little sitting area in her room for people to come up for tea. It does. I really think Daggerheart is the right system for this type of game that I'm trying to run. Because I'm trying to run this whole idea of building the guild up, and then when they reach the end of the first year, and if they've done enough, and I don't see why they wouldn't have done enough, knowing my players, that they've done enough to be gifted this land, and then they get to turn it into, I'll let them name their country, I'll let them decide how they want to build it, and I'll let it expand as the game goes on. And the whole idea is that by the end of the game, they will be a highly respected guild. Let's see if I can put the double bed here. No, I'm on textures, not assets. Look at what you're doing, Kage. Please forgive me if I'm a bit scatterbrained tonight. I got my birth control shot today, and it always makes me feel like crap. Which is fine, because after stream, I will go upstairs, and I will lay down, and I will sit on my phone until I pass out. Which is how I usually spend my nights after stream. Okay, this is a big mattress. Is this a new asset? This might be a new asset. Jeez, that is a really big... Yeah, we're not using that. We're gonna go back to the old one. That's better. If we push this up against the wall, I can give her a nightstand right next to it. And that leaves the bedroom open for a little bit. She's got this really big window here. But I like the idea of putting maybe a little couple small chairs and a table for tea in this corner. I want to give her a desk and a dresser. So let's see what we've got in the way of fancier bedspread. Like, because these are out now. Oh, do they fit that? They do fit this bed. Okay. See, these are pretty. These are very pretty. And I can give her fancy... Okay, what is the color of Wynn's outfit for the most part? Or my NPCs? It's mostly pink and red. So we'll give her, like, pink or red for her bedspread. Do I have pink? It doesn't look like I have pink. It looks like I just have red. Okay, we will do red. And she's noble, so she's gonna keep her bed fairly well kept. Here we go. I like that. Can we do this one so it kind of sits over the... There we go. I kind of like that a little bit better. Actually, it doesn't sit over the bedspread very well. Maybe if I make it a little bit bigger. There we go. That's better. Okay. We also want to up the elevation a little bit, actually, so that it casts a shadow. No computers. Not in this timeline. This is a very fantasy-esque series. Though Daggerheart is fairly versatile that you could run something more futuristic or sci-fi. Alright, I want fancy pillows for this bed. Girl deserves some nice fucking pillows. So we're gonna do... Let's do these. Ooh, okay. Maybe... we make it back to the default size. There we go. Okay, if we do something like... these are so big! Why are these so big? Alright, we're gonna make these smaller. Wrong. That's the elevation. Okay, so we're gonna do... here we go. These two, and then I want to give her something like this in the center. Do I have something closer to that red? That'll work. Yes, Wynn deserves the best. With all that she puts up with this guild, Wynn deserves the best. Okay. Just scale that back up. Okay. So that's her bed. Let's grab a nightstand. No, don't select everything. Let's grab her a nightstand. I keep hitting the wrong thing. Do I want to give her one of the fancier ones? I feel like this is a bit much. Like she gets a fancy bedspread, but I feel like super fancy furniture is a bit much. So we're gonna do one of... this is too... that's way too long. Okay. We're gonna do... I don't know if I like that lamp. I mean, I have something like that downstairs. I guess that's fine. She can have a fancy lamp. Okay. So there's her end table. I just want to make sure the door doesn't... oh, the door opens... why is the door open that way? We're gonna fix that. Let's reverse that. Okay, that's fine. That works out great. Okay, let's get her dresser and a mirror. We could give her a dresser with a vanity mirror. Just to give her more room. Let's go with... do I have one with more? It's more like an armoire. Okay, let's do this. Let's move it over a little bit. That way, if I can't give her the vanity mirror, I can give her a standing mirror. So let's see. Vanity. Okay, here we go. Vanity mirror. Ooh, okay, that's perfect actually. I like that. Alright, vanity mirror. Oh god, when I lived at my parents' house, like, I went through 3 different bedrooms at my parents' house. When we first moved in, I was in the biggest bedroom. And then I moved into the smallest bedroom because I wanted a smaller bedroom because it was easier to keep clean. And the smaller bedroom, the door opened right next to my bed. But I always had the door open at night anyway because my cat would come in and out. Also, we had parrots, and one of the parrots liked to come upstairs and come get me if I wasn't awake early enough. I'm gonna do... it's too big. I'm gonna make that a little bit smaller. And then just stick that in the corner. That works. Okay, and then I want... is there gonna be... okay, so we're gonna give her a hairbrush over here. And... actually, do I want to push that up so that there's a shadow? Yeah, that's better. Okay. And then... what else can we give her that makes sense? We could give her some makeup stuff. She's a girl. Can we give her a closed compact? There we go. The third bedroom I had at my parents' house is now my nephew's bedroom for when he stays over there, and it is thoroughly Harry Potter-fied. The walls are still purple because I painted the walls. I wanted purple walls. Yeah, our bedroom upstairs is fairly big. But that gives us enough room at the foot of the bed to put like a couch for streaming when we were both streaming upstairs. I hang out down here now when we stream. Cuz that having the two webcams works better if we're in different rooms now that we're all VTubers. Let's give her... Yeah, we'll put a thing of lipstick up here. And a brush. I'm trying to make her room look kind of cluttered and lived in. So when I moved up here with a full bed set. Unfortunately, my headboard is too small for our king-size bed upstairs. So it currently sits in the basement. We're gonna make you a little bit smaller so that you actually, there we go. Okay. What else can I put up here? Yeah, we can give her, how big are these things of perfume? We're gonna make that a little bit smaller so that we can, there we go, catty corner it. And then... Okay, you know what? That works out pretty good. Alright, I like that. That makes that look very, very lived in. Okay. Wow, her room is bigger than I initially planned. Okay. So, we could put the desk under the window, and that would make it look, give her that nice light. And then we can give her a little sitting area in the center here for tea. And then... I'm gonna need to fill this corner a little bit. I could put her armor and weapon rack up here. We got our king size bed after I moved up here because when I moved up here I had a cat, Sammy, and then I also had a dog. I miss Kayla so much. She was the sweetest dog, but she liked to sleep under the covers, stretched out as far as she could, so fitting me, who is not a skinny girl, my husband, a dog, and our cat all in the bed upstairs. We needed a king-size bed. All right, let's get going. Ooh, you know what? I could give her a bookshelf up here too, and that'll fill some space. Let me do that. Give her... Yeah. Okay. If we put that over here, I could fit a candelabra in between those to add some lighting up here. Alright, yeah. I like that. Okay. So let's give her a desk. I am going to give her a slightly fancy desk. Just slightly. That's a bit big. We're not giving her that one. That'll work. I like that. Okay. And then let's give her a comfortable chair. Let's give her one of these. We want red. to match her bed. So we'll give her one with arms. We're gonna, there we go, lower the elevation so it's under the desk. Okay. How big are those scroll shelves? Can I fit one of those on here? Probably not. These look kind of big. Yeah, that's way too big. That's not gonna work. Okay. Let's do... Give her... It's like a desk bookshelf too. I could give her one of these. Just to fill... No, wrong button. Wait, is this not... Shoot, hold on. I need to check something. I need to check something. Did I have that at the smaller size by accident? I did. Okay. Right. There we go. And then... Yes, all the head pats. I need the love today. Let's give her this one instead. Okay. Alright. Now... Let's see... There we go. Okay, and then we can do... an inkwell. We'll give her... I don't want to give her a super fancy one. We're just going to give her that. And then we'll put... Oh, it wasn't the difference between the desk. It was just the size. I had the size lowered so the desk was a little smaller than it should have been. Okay. We want... you here. Just having it at the right size gives me a little bit more room to work with putting stuff on the desk. You there, and then we want Quill. Let's give her a white one. Here we go. Let's actually up the elevation on that so that it casts a shadow. Okay. Let's grab a pile of scrolls. Yes. Do I have scroll piles? I'm pretty sure I do. Yes, I do. Okay. And then we want to grab some letters. Just make her desk look cluttered like she's been working. And then we'll grab some paper. It's kind of... Here we go. And then... I'm gonna put it over here. I have this one little open space here. And if I'm gonna make a spot for tea, I don't want to... Or, Thoughts. Processing. I have an idea. Okay, so we're gonna grab... Let's grab this set. We're gonna put... Yes. That's rusty. Not that one. a small plate of sweets. That is perfect. I really like that for her desk. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is... do we have some fancier ones? Is a good question. I scrolled all the way down. That's too big. That's also too big. Do you have any smaller ones? I mean, okay. Let's do... there we go. I like that. Okay. Let's actually move it. We'll put a candelabra over there. Make it so that somebody can kind of sit up here and talk if she's up here working. And then... see, we have a tiny coffee table we can put up here. That is not tiny. There we go. The right color? That doesn't look like the right color. There we go. And then... here we go. That is perfect. Grab some candelabras. That way her room... I like having the open area right here because then it doesn't look like her room's like so crowded she can't do anything. Over here and back here. Perfect. Okay. Now let's flatten this whole thing. Let's make sure I got everything. I did not. Let's grab those. That should be everything, yes? Fuck. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I click the wrong thing. Don't be angry, Kage. It is raining outside. I was wondering what I was hearing. Pitter pattering. Okay. Is that everything? Apparently not. Okay. That should be everything. And... yes. Okay. That is one room down. What do I want to do with the hallway here? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some decorations. I will do... I think I'm gonna do the bedrooms, all the bedrooms first, and then come back to... now for Jamie, I want to give him some magical accoutrement because he is a mage. I also think he wouldn't have as fancy a bed. I mean, he's also from a noble family, but he's also a lot more... What's the word I'm looking for? Practical? So I think we're going to give him... just a regular bedspread. But I want to give him a table or a desk or something that has... If I can find something with prefab, I will, because that saves me time and effort. Let me see what I can do here for his bed. We want... Give him the same bedspread. I think I'm gonna put him... I'm gonna put him here, but I'm gonna move him a little bit closer to the wall. So I have room that I can put like a table there. Okay. And then we're gonna do... Where's the blue? These singles? Those are singles. He's also the type that would meticulously make his bed. Okay. And then we'll give him the same pillows as everybody else downstairs, because he would be that guy. I don't want to seem like I'm special. Even though I am special. Okay. And then we're going to give him a very simple nightstand, I think. And we'll put a candle there. I should have. Yeah. Can I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit a book over here as much as I... You know what? I've got an idea. I've got an idea. Don't mind me, I'm just crazy. We're going to grab a book that is open. Not a blue one. We want it to stand out from the rest of the bed. Let's do I have any... That book is so big. Why is that book so big? There we go. Now it looks like he was actively reading. Okay. Let's grab him a... Let me find a good desk or table that has what I'm looking for. Because I'm sure I can get something like what I'm thinking of. I like these desk prefabs. I should have looked for these first. I can't tell if that's supposed to be incense. Looks like it's supposed to be incense. Something like this. I think there's a table built for something like this that's already prefabbed. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. Okay. Yes, perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Okay. And then we can put a candelabra on the side of the bed. Let me actually up the elevation on that so I can put a chair underneath. And then he deserves a nice chair too. We'll give him a blue one. Let's give him... I feel like he'd take one without an armrest. Okay, perfect. Yes. All right. Okay. Now we need a bookshelf and a dresser. For him. Actually, let's switch it so that it's not so uniform to the way her room is set up. We're gonna put this here, leave some room for a candelabra. And then can move it down a little bit more. Okay, and then we want a dresser. I'm gonna give him a more simple looking dresser, I think. We're gonna move it over because I want to have room to put a mirror, a standing mirror over there. And then let's see, grab some vanity stuff like a hairbrush and a comb. Did I pass the hair? I did. We'll give him a razor for shaving, because some guys need to do that, I guess. And I guess we'll give him... Can we fit this up here? Yeah, okay. That works. Alright, and now I will look for a standing mirror, which should be at the bottom of my list, I believe. Yeah, okay. Perfect. And then I will give him... I know there's a chess table downstairs. I believe there are other... board games. Yeah, because I have like backgammon. I could be really meta and have him run a quote-unquote D&D. No, I'm not gonna be meta. That's a dollhouse. There's dominoes pieces. I really don't want to have to build. There's puzzles. There's... Yeah, see, Nine Men's Morris seems like a game that he'd be good at. No, we're not putting a Ouija board. Absolutely not. Yeah, you know what? I think I've got... Yeah, we're gonna, we're gonna do backgammon. Alright, so let me find a... Let me see how big this is. Okay, yeah, he's gonna need a fairly big table for this, or we make it smaller. Let me find a decent table. We can kind of fix it like towards the foot of his bed, I think. Now the other rooms are going to be a little more uniform because they are guest rooms, so they're probably going to be set up the same way and not have really any clutter in them. Except I'm going to do 2 single beds in one of them. Let's see what we've got here that we can work with. Excuse me, I'm sorry I keep yawning. Unfortunately, if I end this early, I mean, it's almost 8 o'clock, but if I end super early, I'm not going to be able to go upstairs yet, because Hana and his friend are streaming on her channel. I think we're going to go with... I know I passed it. I want to do a circular table. Okay, that'll work. Let's do this. What's the elevation on that? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to make that smaller. Okay. Now, let's go find some chairs. And I haven't played backgammon in a long time. I don't even know if I remember how to play. Here, I think we're just gonna go with regular non-cushion chairs. Oh god, we gotta make that back to a regular size. This table's awfully small. I might need to pick a different table. Hold on. That would be why it was sized down. Okay, well we can size it down again, but let's make it a little bit... There we go. Okay. Now this we can size back up. And it's not going to look weird compared to the table. Okay. Okay, yeah, that looks great. Alright, let's go with that. Anything? I am missing the bedspread. Perfect. Okay. Alright, that is 2 bedrooms down. Now we can we can do one of these 2 down here and then just copy paste. And then I think this one will do 2 singular beds. Because these are going to be for guests. And then we're going to do... I think I'm going to do like a small like sitting reading nook area right here maybe. Oh, you know what I forgot in his room? I forgot a couple candelabras. Let me do that and I'll add it to the flattened. Yeah, one right there. And one right there. And we can just add those together. There we go. Okay. Let's start with this room. And what we'll do is we can start with the bed on this side and then just kind of flip it when we move it to the other side. So let's do a bed. Is this size down? I might need to size this back up. Nope, nope, it's the right size. Okay, I was just being paranoid. Little settee at the end of the bed. There we go. Yeah. And then nightstand. For here, we'll put one on either side. And then we can... put one of these on either side and a fresh candle in each one. And I would say they probably use tallow candles because tallow is cheaper. And then don't know why, but Chrome was blinking at me. Let's grab a dresser. We'll give them a nice one. Let's give them this one. Well, let's do it in a color that matches the rest of the room. We'll give them this one. We'll move it down a little bit. And we will give them a vanity mirror. And put in a desk. Let's do a simpler desk. And we'll give them one of these, just so that they do have some books in the room. And a nice chair. I would say that would become, for the people that live downstairs in the barracks area, yes, they'd be expected to keep their areas clean because there's a lot of people coming and going from those rooms. The people that have their own private rooms, like Wynn and Jamie, who live up north here, they can do whatever they want with their rooms, and if they're messy, that's on them. These guest rooms are kept rather clean because they don't have guests often, but when they do, they want to be presentable. As the guild gets larger, there will be more officers' rooms, there will be more groups that have a hierarchy. But right now, there's only the party and like 6 other members of the guild. So it's small right now. So you're gonna see I'm not putting a ton in these rooms. Just enough to make them look like guest rooms. They're not gonna look lived in. I think I'm gonna put another candle on the desk. These are all really good questions. Keeps me on my toes and keeps me prepared to think about stuff like that. And I like thinking about stuff like that because I like to be better to have thought about it and not need it than someone ask and not have that information. I do think I want to give them a chest for locking away valuables because I feel like that's something they'd want to give guests the option of, especially if these are prestigious guests that have like really valuable items. So I think we're gonna give them, yeah, we'll just put it under the window here. Okay, so let's add a potted plant just to fill that corner. That's such a big plant. Nope. We're gonna make that a little bit smaller. There we go. And then I want to add I definitely want to add a candelabra or two. Plus I feel like having it prepared, I'll actually put that here, makes it feel more immersive for my players. Okay. And that's it for that room. That's literally it. Because it is a guest room, I'm not going to decorate it with a crap ton of stuff. Just enough to make it look like it's ready for someone to come and stay when they visit the guild. Okay, and then we're just going to copy this and paste it. Turn it around. Oh, that doesn't work. Because the door's in a different spot. That's why that doesn't work. Okay. Let's do... There we go. That's fine. I don't mind the bed being right under the window. And we're just going to move this over just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Alright, we've got this one last guest bedroom here. Also, these roofs were such a pain in the ass. I gotta show you how these roof textures work. And I'm hoping that eventually FA Nexus is going to add an actual roofing tool. But for now, what am I doing? Roof. Let me just show you how these roofs. I'm gonna pick a random roof. Now, I can just lay this down, and you see how there's the edge, and then it suddenly starts a new roof. So I can only go so far, and then have to resize and move the damn thing. So getting the roofs to sit right and to look good, like this one right up here, I only had so much I could do, and I couldn't butt them up against each other and have them cover what would have been the floor underneath without putting this like solid thing in the center. I really hope that they come up with a better way to do roofs, because that's annoying. It's frustrating. I spent like 40 minutes just getting one roof done. Okay. I need single beds for this room, and I hope I can fit 2 of them, because this room's a little bit more on the oblong side. Yeah, we can fit 2 beds in here. I think... Alright, if we do it this way... Yeah, okay. And then... we can put a long bedside table between them that they can share. And then... they'll each get a chest. And they'll each get a small wardrobe. These would probably be for, like, if there's, like, a high-ranking noble that's visiting, and they bring, like, a footman or some kind of, or some kind of, like, lady's maid or servant with them, that this would be the room for some, or, like, a secretary, someone that would be, like, under them, but would not be, like, considered part of... wouldn't be deemed low rank enough to be like, oh, you can just stay in the barracks. Does that make sense? Because for reference's sake, the people that are going to be coming to stay in these rooms that for one night that the party's going to be escorting has 3 noble kids, 2 servants, and 2 guards. And I figure I can put the servants in here, put the 2 noble boys together, the noble girl gets her own room, and then the guards can sleep in the barracks. That way I don't have to make this building any bigger. Why are these so high up? Let me change the elevation of these. Let's put these down to 4 or 5. 5. Right. All the elevations are changed because I needed things to be over top of the roof. None of my players are in the chat right now, and I don't think they're going to be watching this. I don't think they're going to be watching this, so I can explain. They're going to be escorting a prince and his household. Essentially, the way that the game's going to open up is Wynn and Jamie will be coming back from bringing the prince to the guild hall, which would be the halfway point, and then they're going to entrust the party to take them the rest of the way. So it's the prince's household. So it's him, two noble kids that are going to grow up to be his retainers, his tutor, a maid that serves his house, that serves as part of his household, and then two personal guards. One of which will be recruitable at the end of the quest. That's the plan anyways. There's going to be a lot that they're going to run into along the way. One of my first side quests is going to be a ruin that they're going to pass one day, not one evening while they're camping, and the prince is going to insist on checking it out. And if they indulge him, they'll get a affinity point with his kingdom. And then each area that they stay in, because there's a village along the way, a city, and then they get to the capital. So the village is going to have probably one or two quests, simple jobs that they can pick up and do over the course of a day. And then the city's going to have probably 3 or 4 jobs that they can pick up and do over the course of a day. And then once they get to the capital, I might have some extra jobs for them to do there, or they can just kind of drop the prince off, turn around, and come home. It's up to the party. I will leave that up to their discretion. Let's see here. Do we have anything smaller than that? I want something small but long enough. That'll work. And then that's like a shared end table between the two of them. I can't spell. And every quest that they complete is going to, depending on which nation that they're in, is going to add affinity to that nation. And once they reach certain affinities... Well, yeah, because the plan is that they're a guild. They need to gain affinity with the people, so they're going to be needing to do jobs along the way. And as long as they're not, making the prince wait, he's not going to mind them going to do it. As long as it's yeah, we're here for the day, we're leaving in the morning, as long as you get it done before then, you're fine, you can do what you want. Yeah, that's the plan. When they go into the different towns and cities, there's going to be job boards. But I am going to give them stuff along the road that they could possibly do. But I'm not going to just throw it in their face. I want to give them the room to explore the world a little bit while not dragging us away from the plot too much. I don't want to railroad them, but I also don't want to end up here's the plot, here's a quest that's 40 paces in a different direction from the plot that we're never going to be able to cycle back. Yes, there's going to be a couple things that they're going to have to protect the prince from. The prince is about 14, so he can kind of help them in combat, but he's not supposed to. But they will be able to do the pair-up mechanic with the guards. So the way that my pair-up... I believe I explained this before. The way that my pair-up mechanic works is that each party member can pair up with one other fighter. And it has to be an NPC, it can't be each other. And they can spend one of their actions to make the NPC they're paired up with attack, or they can wait until the NPC they're paired up with's attack reaction ability is triggered. So for example, I'm just gonna, for example, we'll just use Win. For example, Win has an ability called Aid, and it is triggered when a paired ally takes severe damage. To explain how damage works again, an enemy will make a roll versus a player's evasion. For example, Alexander's evasion is 9. If I roll higher than 9, that's a hit. And then I roll the damage die. So say their training Win manages to make a hit, that's a 1d8, that's 1d8 plus 3. I roll that 1d8 plus 3, and if the total is under, what's Alexander's threshold? If the total is under 6, that is a minor wound. If it is between, so that's 1 HP. If it's between 6 and 12, that is a major wound, that's 2 HP. And if it is above 12, that is a severe wound, and that is 3 HP. So, if he was paired up with Win, and he took severe damage, he could choose to spend a stress, or mark a stress on her, so that she can use Aid to reduce the damage from severe to major. And at this point in time, because she's only tier 1, she only has 2 stress. As the game goes on and these NPCs level up, they will gain more stress, more HP, more features. So the reaction abilities are limited in how many times they can be used, but they're there to help the party. A lot of this system for me is a way for me to be like, okay, this player can't make it tonight. I don't want to cancel. So now we have these NPCs that can fill that role so that we can still play even though I'm down 2 players, and it doesn't affect the balance of combat for the rest of the party. Which was a big concern for me because I do have a I have a group of 6 players. It's not small, but it used to be that if I were missing 2 people, if I were missing 2 players, I would cancel game. Which isn't a bad thing, but it does take away from the fun for everybody else. So I essentially have it so that I can still run game, I just won't run anybody's personal quest plotline. So that everybody can be there for the important bits, but we can still do side stuff if I'm missing people. And that way, like, the people that can't make it, say, for work or real life obligations, or they're sick, don't feel like they're missing anything important if we still play without them. The pair-up system is very much inspired by early Fire Emblem games, specifically Awakening and Fates. There's a lot of Fire Emblem themes and inspirations in this game. Okay, hopefully that's everything. Yes. Okay. So that's all the rooms done. Now I just have to do the hallways and this sitting area and this little reading nook. And then I just have to add the lights to both floors, and then this building will be done. And then I just have to do the blacksmith shop, which is much smaller, and then the guild will be done. And I think I'll have everything I need, because I want the first session to be a lot of roleplay and a lot of them, their characters getting to know each other and the other guild members. So I don't even know if I'm going to have them leave the guild hall or the guild land. Kair Stars Reach is the name, or Kair Stars Reach is the name of the fort, quote unquote fort. It's not really a fort, it's 3 buildings. But I don't know if I'm gonna have them leave Kair Stars Reach before the end of the first session. If anything, they'll be just leaving by the end of the first session. Okay, let's see. I think we're gonna do... I'm gonna do a potted plant because fill the area. And then I'm gonna do a little display side, maybe just a side table over here. Let's do, see what I've got in the way of stuff I can kind of decorate cupboards with and just kind of place them around. Doesn't really... okay. I've got kind of an idea of what I want to do, so... let's throw this over here. And then... yeah, grab one of these busts and we'll throw one of them up there. Is this sized up all the way? Yes, it is. Okay. Some smaller pottery with flowers and stuff. I might have just scrolled right past it. I have like a swollen taste bud on my tongue. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, I think I passed it. Let's scroll back up. Oh, here we go. Okay. Is that the only colors I have? I thought... there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. There we go. I like that. I think that looks nice. And then we can put one over here in this corner. And then... I think that's good, because we'll put a lamp here. Or, yeah, we'll put a lamp there. Okay. I don't want to over-clutter the hallways, because then I feel like it's too much. Especially for a hallway that, because it's right near the guest rooms, isn't going to get used a ton. Okay. Let's do... this is going to be a big sitting area, I think. So we're going to do like a big 3-seater couch and a couple 2-seater couches. Okay. We can do some of the fancier couches up here, I think. Do we have fancy 3-seater couches? I don't think we do. That's fine. We're gonna do... we want to do blue. But the blue ones don't have any prefabbed pillows or anything on them, but that's fine. We can do that ourselves. I think I'm gonna do... I don't want to do gold, that's for certain. Let's do this one. And we'll do it right in the center here. Then we can add... Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to block the stairs too much. But I think this works. And we can put like 2 little displays in these 2 corners here next to a candelabra each. Grab a coffee table and some end tables, I think. Trying to get that more in the center, but I think that's as good as that's gonna get. Alright. We're gonna grab a couple nightstands. Just do one of these as like an end table, and we'll put maybe a lamp on one. Yeah, I'll put a lamp on one. Actually, I'll put a lamp on both. I picture there's probably like a big chandelier up here too, but unfortunately, I don't have like a shadow to put like a shadow of a chandelier over it. They used to have that. I know they have it in Dungeon Draft. I don't know if it's been converted over to Foundry or if they're planning on converting it over to Foundry. But this isn't bad. This is a nice setup. And then we're going to do... Let's do a potted plant over here. Let's actually turn it around so we can get it back in the corner a bit more. We'll put one over here, and then thank you, Eli. It's getting there. I've still got quite a bit to do. I've got this hallway up here and this little sitting area to do, and then I have to add all the lighting because I have to do lamps along the walls and stuff. But I want to do that last for both floors because it's just easier once I have all the stuff laid out. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Those plates are too close. Alright, fine. We'll just put the displays here. That's fine. I really like these like map building streams. Like I feel like they're not super interesting, but I also didn't feel like my Sims builds were interesting. And the only reason I'm not building in Sims is just because of all of the bullshittery with the buyout and everything, and fuck that bullshit. Also, like, the whole EA Marketplace bullshit that they just started with The Sims. Alright, let's see. What do we want to put? I could put a longer one here, actually. Hold on. I've got an idea. I want to put a longer one of these here so I can put in something different. But I do enjoy doing these streams because I enjoy the building process. I feel like I'm not super entertaining when I do these streams, but you know, that's better. Yes, we want this one for a really big sword or something, or a spear. That'll work. And then I think I'm gonna choose a different color pillow than that really dark blue, because that really dark blue made it hard to see. So let's do red. I also think it's fun just to sit here and hang out with you guys. Okay, so for this one, I think we're gonna do a sword. Where's the dragon hilted sword that I like? Throw that in there. Yeah, where's the one with the blue? Yes! Okay, I like that. And then, can we fit a bow on this side? Probably not. I know there's an oath bow in here. Still too big! You suck. Oh, that one's a little bit smaller. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. There we go. And I think we can just put... No, because there's a potted plant right there, and right there. It's gonna clash. Okay. We can do candelabras. When in doubt, put a plant or a candelabra. Perfect. Okay. Okay, let's flatten all this together. Perfect. Okay. Oh, that's looking great. Okay. I might actually finish this building tonight. Okay, so we want a little reading nook over here. So I think we're gonna do a bookshelf on this wall. We'll put another candelabra over here. And then we'll do a couch and a couple armchairs, I think. It's a little too big. Need something a little bit smaller. There we go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do over here that I wanted to do? It's fine, we'll lay them down and we can just add them. I wanted to add some pillows to these chairs. one smaller. Oh, these aren't high enough elevation to cast a shadow. There we go. There we go, much better. Okay. Ooh, let's do this way. Oh, these are sized down because I sized down the pillows. Shit! Every time! Let's try this again. Wait, these are set. Yeah. Okay, we can still kind of make this catty corner. It'll just be a little different. We'll just make this one. Yeah, we can kind of put a plant over there. There is a method to my madness. We can put a smaller plant over here. There we go. And then we'll stick a coffee table between them and then add some pillows. I don't know if I want to add the one with the pipe on it. I'll just use the same one I used downstairs. Because why not? Okay. I can't wait till I can get another monitor so I'm not looking at chat on my phone. Every time I look down, my phone's gone dark. Okay, that's everything in this little corner. Nope, I lied. I'm missing a candelabra. Now that's everything in this little corner. Okay. Now we just have to do this hallway. I don't think we're gonna do... I think we're just gonna do 2 displays over here. Or a display and a side table. Could do a display with a bunch of books in it, maybe. I could do one of the smaller displays. I know they've got these prefab ones, which I guess I could use, but they don't match the rest of the wood. They all have like price tags in them. But I wouldn't mind doing a smaller one like this that has like an instrument in it. And then maybe a really long one with a spear or something in it. Yeah, something like this with the books maybe. And then a smaller one next to like a plant or something. The ideas are flowing. Let's do a harp. That's not gonna fit. Alright, we can do. Yeah, okay. And then... Oh, they're not centered. Okay, fine. There we go. That's better. Okay. Put a candelabra in that, on that side, kind of like right here, not so much in the corner, but like right here. Ow. And then we'll put a plant over here. I want to use this one, but we're gonna have to make it smaller. There we go. Okay, that'll work. Just move these out of the way. Okay, that is all the furniture for this level of the building. Now we just have to add the lamps to the walls and add the lighting. So I think we're gonna go back to the first floor and start there. Let me pick which lamp I want to use. Same one that we used in the other building. Make sure these are the right size. We're gonna up the elevation. I like to put these at like 5 so that they're gonna be above the players, but not higher than the walls. Ooh, was that thunder I just heard? It was either thunder I just heard or the cats. And I'm gonna make this a little bit easier on myself and just flatten these all together. I do want to add, I'm gonna finish the lamps, but I am gonna come back and add like 1 or 2 torches, like a brazier torches outside, so that there's lighting outside in the practice yard. We are going to start here. Changed my elevation on me. Okay, put one here. And one between these 2 chairs. And then put one on either side of the door. Can put one by these stairs. By this door. By this door. One here. And one here. This music makes me feel like I have to put everything in the exact proper place. There must be adequate lighting everywhere. that should be all of them down here. Except for the ones outside. Let me flatten these together. And then I can attach each group together. Okay. And then let's grab a couple. Let's do some braziers. I think that would be better. Because we use some of these braziers in the main building. One here. One here. That should be good. Okay. And then we'll just grab these, and these, or not. And if I did this right, all of the lights, yes, are attached. No? What happened? Oh god. I screwed up. That's what happened. I screwed up. How did the lights... Oh. Bugger. Okay. Let's deconstruct this. How did... There we go. Much better. Okay. These lights. These lights. These lights. I'm gonna flatten them. Okay. Much better. Alright. Okay. Now... let's go dark. I might have to adjust how dark the... Yep. Yeah, 70's good. What did I do on the... Hold on. What did I do on the guild hall? Oh, I have to change it every time, huh? Alright, we're gonna do 7. That's fine. Actually, let's just copy one of these over from over here. Save myself some work. Well, I was hoping we'd get to finish all of the buildings tonight, but I did not expect this to take 2 hours. So it looks like we're going to be doing... I'm going to probably end up doing the blacksmiths off screen. And the next DM and chill might be a world building DM and chill. We'll see, because I don't want to do any of the maps that I don't want my players to accidentally see on the channel, like live. There's a couple of those coming up. Are there any candles on the table? Doesn't look like it. But I could... There we go. Just kind of a... something that kind of mimics a candelabra, or a chandelier, I should say. In fact, I don't think we're going to be able to do the lights upstairs this stream, because we're getting close to the end here, and I'm still placing all these lights. That's okay, though. As always, I will share my progress off-screen in Discord, and any maps that my players, that I don't want to do live in case my players see them. I think I might put one of these in each of the big rooms, too, just like a big candelabra. Chandelier. The word I'm looking for is chandelier. Okay. And then... These are lights, Kraz. These are light sources. Unfortunately, Kraz, you came in towards the end of the stream. Okay. Perfect. That looks great. Alright. Well, I think this is where we're going to stop tonight, guys. I will have to do the lighting for the second floor off screen. And unfortunately, I probably will finish... I will probably also do the blacksmiths off screen. Because the blacksmiths isn't that big a building, so... next DM and Chill stream will probably end up being a world building stream. But I will see you guys on Thursday for some Metaphor Refantasio. We will see you Saturday for Monster Prom. And then I will see you on Sunday for Fire Emblem Engage. But in the meantime, matane!